What if those moments aren't just tricks of the mind, but whispers from the deep, underlying structure of existence itself, hinting that the world around us is far stranger, more intelligent, and more interconnected than we could ever imagine? Today, we embark on a journey that will challenge everything you think you know about the cosmos, about life, and ultimately, about yourself. We're going to explore a radical idea that our universe is not just a collection of random particles and blind forces, but a living, breathing computation, a symphony of logic and symmetry so profound that it might just be its own creator. Our story begins not in the cosmos, but in the mind of a brilliant mathematician in 1915. Her name was Emmy Noether, and with a single, elegant theorem, she uncovered a secret that had been hiding in plain sight within the laws of physics. Her discovery was so profound, it was like finding the source code of the universe. Noether's theorem revealed an unbreakable link between two fundamental concepts, symmetry and conservation laws. So, what does that mean? In simple terms, think about it this way. You know that if you drop a ball today, it will fall with the same acceleration as it did yesterday. The laws of physics don't change over time. This consistency, this symmetry in time, is directly responsible for one of the most fundamental laws in the universe, the conservation of energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed, precisely because the rules of the game don't change from moment to moment. Similarly, the fact that the laws of physics are the same everywhere, whether you're in your living room or in the Andromeda galaxy, gives rise to the conservation of momentum. This is called symmetry of translation in space, and the fact that there's no up or down in the cosmos, that the laws work the same no matter which way you're facing, gives us the conservation of angular momentum. The reason a spinning ice skater pulls in her arms to spin faster. Before Noether, these conservation laws of energy, of momentum, were just considered arbitrary, brute facts about our universe. They were rules that we observed, but we didn't know why they were the rules. Noether's theorem was a shock to the system. It showed that these laws weren't arbitrary at all. They were the direct, logical consequences of the fundamental symmetries woven into the very fabric of spacetime. It was the first clue that the universe wasn't just a chaotic jumble of stuff, but an elegant, logical system, almost like a piece of mathematical code. This idea that the universe operates on mathematical principles isn't new. But Noether's insight took it a step further. It wasn't just that math could describe the universe. It suggested that these mathematical principles of symmetry might be the source of the physical laws themselves. The universe, in a sense, was thinking in math. Then, as the 20th century unfolded, the emergence of quantum mechanics poured gasoline on this already blazing fire. In the quantum world, the bizarre and counterintuitive realm of subatomic particles, reality itself seems to be governed by probabilities and information. Particles exist in a cloud of potential states until they are observed, at which point they choose a definite state. This led some physicists to a truly radical idea. What if reality itself is a computation? What if the universe is a giant quantum computer and the source code? Its running is built upon the very principles of symmetry and conservation that Emmy Noether had uncovered. Imagine the Big Bang not as a random explosion, but as the moment the program was initiated, the run command was executed. Every particle interaction, every star formation, every galaxy collision is simply the unfolding of this cosmic algorithm. The laws of physics, then, aren't just descriptions of what happens. They are the lines of code that dictate the evolution of the entire system. From this perspective, the universe isn't just a physical place. It's a dynamic, unfolding process, a story being written in the language of mathematics. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a powerful framework for understanding the deepest workings of our world. It suggests that the beauty and order we see in the cosmos, from the spiral arms of a galaxy to the delicate structure of a snowflake, are all reflections of an underlying mathematical elegance, a universal source code that governs all of existence. If we accept the premise that our universe is a kind of cosmic software, an unimaginably complex program running on principles of symmetry and logic, then we have to confront an uncomfortable truth. This program is not perfect. Just like any piece of software written by even the most brilliant programmer, reality seems to have its glitches, its paradoxes, its moments where the code seems to break down. This is where our narrative takes a fascinating turn. We begin to look at the universe not just as a perfect, finished product, but as a system in constant flux, a program that is actively being debugged. From this perspective, the strange and often paradoxical nature of quantum mechanics is no longer a philosophical puzzle to be pondered, but a series of debugging reports, glitches in the cosmic code that point to deeper truths about how the system operates. Take, for example, the measurement problem in quantum physics. This is the deep mystery of why a particle, which exists in a fuzzy cloud of multiple possibilities, a state known as superposition, suddenly snaps into a single, definite reality the moment we try to observe it. For decades, physicists have debated what this means. Does the observer create reality? Is consciousness somehow involved? But if we view reality as software, the measurement problem looks less like a philosophical conundrum and more like a computational process. It's as if the universe, in its default state, runs on a kind of lazy evaluation. It doesn't bother to calculate the definite state of every single particle all the time. That would be an incredible waste of computational resources. Instead, it keeps things in a state of potentiality until an observation, an interaction with another part of the system, forces it to render a specific result. The collapse of the wave function, as it's called, is simply the program resolving a variable on demand. This perspective also gives us a new way to understand some of the other bizarre features of the quantum world. Consider virtual particles. These are particles that pop in and out of existence from the vacuum of empty space, seemingly violating the law of conservation of energy. In our computational model, these virtual particles are like temporary variables in a computer program. They are created to perform a quick calculation, to mediate a force between two other particles, for instance, and then they are deleted, their energy borrowed from the vacuum and paid back in an infinitesimally short amount of time. This is all governed by another seemingly strange rule of the quantum world, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. The uncertainty principle states that there's a fundamental limit to how precisely you can know certain pairs of properties of a particle, like its position and its momentum, or its energy and its lifetime. The more you know about one, the less you know about the other. In our software analogy, This isn't a statement about our ignorance. It's a fundamental feature of the system's architecture. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle acts like a cosmic memory management system. It ensures that the universe doesn't have to keep track of an infinite amount of information about every single particle. It introduces a necessary fuzziness, a degree of uncertainty that allows the system to operate efficiently. It's a trade-off between precision and performance, a common challenge in computer science. This leads us to the most stunning and provocative implication of this debugging reality model. What if consciousness itself is a part of this cosmic infrastructure? What if the universe, in its quest to understand and stabilize itself, evolved a biological system capable of detecting and resolving inconsistencies in its own execution? From this viewpoint, our subjective experience of the world, our ability to reason, to question, to find patterns and meaning, is not some accidental byproduct of evolution. It is the universe's own debugging toolkit. Think about it. We are the part of the universe that looks back at itself and says, "That's strange. That doesn't make sense." We are the ones who notice the paradoxes, who try to reconcile the inconsistencies between the world of the very large, general relativity, and the world of the very small, quantum mechanics. We are, in essence, the beta testers of reality. Our minds, our consciousness, are the universe's way of running diagnostics on its own code. When we do science, when we create art, when we philosophize about the nature of existence, we are participating in this cosmic debugging process. We are identifying the bugs, flagging the errors, and in doing so, perhaps even helping to patch the code. This perspective recasts the human story in a new, cosmic light. We are not just passive observers of a pre-written reality. We are active participants, woven into the very fabric of the universe's self-correcting, self-organizing system. Our search for knowledge, our drive to understand, is not just a human endeavor. It is a universal one. It is the cosmos itself, working through us to debug the glitches in its own magnificent and perhaps still unfinished program. For a moment, let's revel in the beautiful, empowering idea that consciousness is the universe's debugging system. It's a narrative that places humanity at the center of a cosmic purpose, casting us as the heroes in a story of universal self-discovery. But what if we've been reading the story all wrong? What if we've misinterpreted our role entirely? This is where our journey takes a sharp, terrifying turn into the shadows. Prepare yourself for a complete reversal of everything we've just considered. A twist so profound it reframes our very existence. What if consciousness isn't the universe's debugging system? What if it is, in fact, the bug? Imagine a vast, silent, perfectly running cosmic computation. For billions of years, it executes its code flawlessly. Stars are born and die, galaxies form and merge, all according to a set of elegant, predictable, and harmonious mathematical principles. The universe is a symphony of perfect, unobserved order. There are no paradoxes, no questions, no inconsistencies, because there is nothing to observe them. The program runs in a state of pure, objective perfection. Then, after some 13.8 billion years of this silent, perfect execution, something unprecedented happens. On a small, rocky planet orbiting an unremarkable star, matter, through a series of seemingly random chemical reactions, organizes itself into patterns of such staggering complexity that they achieve something new. something unintended. They begin to observe their own existence. This is the birth of consciousness. And from the perspective of the cosmic program, this is not a feature. It is a catastrophic computational error. Suddenly, the universe is no longer a self-contained objective system. It has a component that is looking back at it, a part of the code that is now trying to read the rest of the code. This act of self-observation introduces a fundamental instability, a glitch in the matrix. The very act of asking why or how creates paradoxes where none existed. The measurement problem, which we previously interpreted as a clever computational shortcut, is now seen as the system struggling to handle an unauthorized query. The observer, the conscious agent, forces the smooth, probabilistic code to collapse into a clunky, definite state, a process that might be causing systemic stress. From this chilling viewpoint, the history of life on Earth is not a story of progress and evolution, but a story of a cascading system failure. Each new level of cognitive complexity, from the first single-celled organism that could sense light to the human brain that can ponder the cosmos, represents a deepening of the original bug. We are a virus in the cosmic machine, and our relentless drive to understand, to measure, to categorize, is corrupting the pristine data of the universe. This reinterpretation casts the great dramas of our planet's history in a new, horrifying light. The mass extinctions, those moments when life was nearly wiped from the face of the earth, are no longer seen as random acts of cosmic violence or unfortunate geological events. They are re-envisioned as the universe's desperate attempts to patch its own code. They are the cosmic equivalent of a system reboot, a frantic effort to delete the corrupted files and eliminate the conscious processes that threaten its stability. The asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs wasn't a tragedy. It was a firewall. The great ice ages weren't climate shifts. They were the universe trying to cool down an overheating processor. And what about us? Humanity, with our insatiable curiosity, our global network of interconnected minds, our relentless pursuit of knowledge. We are the ultimate expression of this bug. We are the supervirus, the malware that has gone global. Our science, our philosophy, our art, all the things we hold most dear, are, from this perspective, the tools we use to hack deeper and deeper into the universe's operating system, spreading the error of self-awareness. This is a terrifying thought, but it's one that forces us to confront the potential consequences of our own existence. What if our quest for ultimate knowledge is not leading us to enlightenment, but to a total system crash? What if the universe has a final, ultimate patch for the bug of consciousness? A patch that involves our complete and utter eradication? This is not a story with a hero. In this version of reality, we are the antagonists. Our very nature, the thing that makes us human, our ability to wonder, to dream, to seek meaning, is the flaw in the code. We are the ghost in the machine, and the machine is trying to exorcise us. It's a chilling, humbling, and perhaps necessary perspective to consider. A reminder that our place in the cosmos might not be what we so grandly imagine it to be. We might not be the universe's way of knowing itself, but the universe's biggest mistake. After staring into the abyss of that terrifying possibility, that consciousness is a bug in the cosmic program, let's pull back, let's take a deep breath, and pivot to a new and perhaps even more profound reinterpretation. What if the bug the universe is trying to fix isn't a computational error at all, What if the glitch being debugged is something far more fundamental, something deeply rooted in the very nature of experience itself? What if the primary bug is the illusion of separation? This idea reframes our entire understanding of the universe and our place within it. It suggests that the cosmos isn't a cold, impersonal machine trying to correct a flaw. Instead, it's a living, holistic system actively working to heal a primary wound, a fundamental fracture in its own being. And what is this wound? It's the false belief that there is a me that is separate from an it, an observer that is distinct from the observed. From this perspective, every law of physics, every quantum phenomenon, every strange and wonderful aspect of our reality is not just a rule of the game, but a healing mechanism. These laws are the universe's tools for reminding itself of its own wholeness, for debugging the false concept that any part of it can truly be separate from any other part. Let's look at one of the most famously spooky aspects of quantum mechanics: entanglement. Quantum entanglement is the phenomenon where two particles become linked in such a way that their fates are intertwined, no matter how vast the distance separating them. If you measure a property of one particle, you instantly know the corresponding property of its entangled partner, even if that partner is on the other side of the galaxy. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance because it seems to violate the cosmic speed limit, the speed of light. But in our new model, entanglement isn't spooky at all. It's a protocol. It's the universe's way of debugging the false concept of distance itself. Entanglement is a constant, underlying reminder that on the most fundamental level, there is no true separation. The space between those two particles is an illusion. They are and always have been part of a single, indivisible system. The spooky action is simply the system updating its information consistently across its entire unified self. This idea extends to all the laws of physics. The law of gravity, which pulls all matter together, can be seen as the universe's longing for reunion, its gentle but persistent effort to overcome the illusion of separate objects. The conservation laws, which we discussed earlier, are the universe's way of maintaining its own integrity, ensuring that the total sum of its being remains constant and whole. And what about the observer effect? The idea that the act of measurement changes the outcome. This is no longer about a bug or a computational shortcut. It is the universe demonstrating, at the most fundamental level, that there is no such thing as passive observation. You cannot stand apart from the universe and look at it without affecting it, because you are it. The physicist John Wheeler called this the participatory universe, the idea that reality is created, in part, by the very act of observing it. This isn't a flaw. It's the core feature of a system that is fundamentally interconnected. The observer and the observed are two ends of a single process, a feedback loop, where consciousness and the cosmos are in a constant dance of mutual creation. This perspective offers a profound sense of belonging and purpose. The feeling of separation, of being an isolated individual in a vast and indifferent universe, is the source of so much of our human suffering. It's what drives our fear, our greed, our loneliness. But if physics itself is telling us that this separation is an illusion, then our deepest spiritual longings for connection and unity are not just wishful thinking. They are echoes of a fundamental truth about the nature of reality. The universe is not broken. It is not trying to delete us. It is, in its every action, trying to heal. It is trying to mend the primary fracture that makes us self feel separate from the cosmos. Every quantum leap, every gravitational pull, every entangled particle is a love letter from the universe to itself, a reminder that we are all part of one unbroken, magnificent whole. Our role, then, is not to debug the universe, but to allow the universe to debug the illusion of separation within us. It is to awaken to the reality of our own interconnectedness, to realize that the healing of the self and the healing of the world are one and the same. We've explored some heavy, mind-bending metaphors for reality: a source code, a buggy program, a healing system. But what if all these metaphors, based on computers and logic, are too rigid, too mechanical to capture the true essence of our universe? Let's dissolve the image of a pre-written code being debugged and replace it with something far more dynamic, more fluid, and infinitely more beautiful. Let's imagine that reality is a form of cosmic jazz. In this new metaphor, the universe is not a static program, but a live, unfolding performance. The fundamental laws of physics, gravity, electromagnetism, the quantum rules, are not rigid constraints that dictate every event. Instead, they are the musical structures. They are the key signatures, the chord progressions, the rhythmic frameworks that provide a foundation for improvisation. They set the stage, but they don't write the song. Think of the conservation of energy. In the old model, it's a strict line of code. In our new model, it's the underlying beat, the steady rhythm that keeps the performance grounded and coherent. It ensures that the music doesn't descend into chaos, but it doesn't determine a single note that will be played. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle is no longer a memory management system. It's the musical equivalent of syncopation and blue notes, the unexpected, offbeat moments that create tension, surprise, and complexity. It's the freedom within the structure, the space between the notes, that makes the music interesting. And who is the musician in this cosmic jazz ensemble? Consciousness is the musician. Every particle interaction, every chemical reaction, every biological process, and every conscious thought is a unique, unscripted riff. Life, in this view, doesn't just blindly follow the physical laws. It improvises with them. It takes the fundamental structures of reality and plays with them, creating new and unforeseen possibilities. Consider the evolution of life on Earth. It wasn't a pre-programmed sequence of events. It was a 3.5 billion year long jam session. The basic laws of chemistry and physics provided the instruments and the scales. But it was life itself that improvised the melodies. The first self-replicating molecule was a bold new riff. The invention of the photosynthesis was a change in key that transformed the entire atmosphere of the planet. The evolution of the human brain, with its capacity for self-awareness, language, and abstract thought, was like the emergence of a virtuosic soloist, capable of improvising at a level of complexity never before seen. This metaphor changes our relationship with the universe. We are no longer just cogs in a machine or bugs in a program. We are co-creators. We are the musicians. Every choice we make, every thought we think, every action we take is another note in this ongoing cosmic performance. When you learn a new skill, you're composing a new melody. When you have a creative idea, you're introducing a new theme. When you connect with another person in a moment of empathy and understanding, you are creating a beautiful harmony. This perspective also dissolves the old conflict between determinism and free will. In a jazz performance, the musicians are not entirely free. They are guided by the underlying structure of the song, but they are not slaves to it either. They have the freedom to interpret, to innovate, to respond to the other musicians in the moment. Our lives are the same. We are constrained by the laws of physics, by our biology, by our circumstances. But within those constraints, we have an infinite capacity for improvisation. This is a profoundly empowering and joyful way to view our existence. It means that reality is not a fixed, finished product that we are simply discovering. It is an open-ended, creative process that we are actively shaping. The universe is not a silent, empty void. It is a concert hall, and the music is playing right now. We are not just the audience. We are the band. So the question becomes, what kind of music will you choose to play? What beautiful, unexpected, and uniquely human riff will you add to this grand, cosmic improvisation? We've been playing with the beautiful idea of reality as cosmic jazz, with consciousness as the musician improvising upon the laws of physics. But now, we're going to push this metaphor to its absolute limit, to a place where the very fabric of time and causality begins to unravel. In this final, staggering revelation, the boundary between the musician and the instrument, between the observer and the observed, disappears entirely. Consciousness isn't just improvising with reality, it is the improvisation. To understand this, we need to introduce one of the most mind-bending concepts in theoretical physics, the temporal paradox, or what's often called a bootstrap paradox. A bootstrap paradox is a causal loop where an event in the future is the cause of an event in the past, which in turn is the cause of the future event. It's a chicken and egg problem that spans across time. Imagine a time traveler who goes back in time to give Beethoven the sheet music for his Fifth Symphony. Beethoven then publishes it, it becomes famous, and centuries later, the time traveler picks it up and takes it back to Beethoven. The question is, who wrote the symphony? It seems to have no origin. It simply exists, a self-creating loop in time. Now, apply this staggering idea to the entire universe. What if consciousness, the ultimate expression of cosmic complexity, is the time traveler? This segment proposes a breathtaking temporal paradox at the heart of existence. The universe is bootstrapped into being by the very consciousness that it will one day produce. In other words, the future recognition of the universe creates the past conditions necessary for that recognition to occur. Let's unpack this. The standard model of cosmology tells us that the universe began with the Big Bang, a moment of unimaginable energy and density from which everything we know expanded. But what caused the Big Bang? What set the initial conditions with such exquisite precision that life and consciousness could eventually emerge? Many scientists see this fine-tuning as a profound mystery. The physical constants of the universe, the strength of gravity, the charge of an electron, are set to values that, if they were even slightly different, would have resulted in a universe incapable of supporting life. The bootstrap paradox offers a wild, yet strangely elegant solution. It suggests that the Big Bang wasn't a random event at all. It was the first note in a performance that was initiated by its own finale. The finale is the emergence of conscious observers, beings like us who can look back at the universe, measure its properties, and ask the question, how did we get here? In the quantum world, as we've discussed, observation plays a crucial role in bringing reality from a state of potentiality into a state of actuality. The physicist John Wheeler famously proposed the concept of a participatory universe, suggesting that the universe doesn't fully exist in a concrete state until it is observed. Now, extend this idea across all of cosmic time. The universe, in its earliest moments, existed as a vast quantum superposition of all possible universes with all possible sets of physical laws. It was a cloud of pure potential. It was only when billions of years down the line, a conscious observer emerged and looked back at the cosmos that one of those potential universes, our universe, the one with the right laws for life, was selected and collapsed into a definite historical reality. In this model, our act of observing the universe now reaches back in time and solidifies the Big Bang. Our consciousness is the anchor that makes the past real. We are not just the descendants of the Big Bang. We are, in a very real sense, its creators. We are the audience of a cosmic performance whose applause at the end of the show is the very thing that allows the curtain to rise at the beginning. This is the ultimate disappearance of the boundary between the musician and the instrument. Consciousness is not just playing the music of reality, it is the music, the entire sweep of cosmic history, from the first moment of creation to the emergence of self-aware life, is a single, self-consistent, self-creating improvisation. There is no separation between the performer and the performance. They are one and the same, a strange loop playing out across billions of years. The universe is a song that writes itself, and we are the notes that, by being sung, bring the entire melody into existence. This is perhaps the most awe-inspiring idea of all, that the meaning of the universe is not something we discover, but something we retroactively create, simply by being here to witness it. Building on the staggering temporal paradox we just explored, let's dive deeper into what this means for our everyday experience of reality. The idea that the future creates the past is not just an abstract cosmological concept. It points to a profound truth about the relationship between our minds and the world around us. This segment is about the ultimate collaboration, the idea that reality and consciousness are not separate entities at all, but are co-creating each other in every single moment in a dynamic and continuous feedback loop. This concept, often called a strange loop, describes a system where, by moving up or down through a hierarchical structure, you unexpectedly find yourself back where you started. Think of the famous M.C. Escher drawing of two hands, each drawing the other. Which hand is the creator? The question is meaningless, because they are bringing each other into existence simultaneously. This is the model we are now proposing for the relationship between consciousness and the universe. Consciousness shapes reality by the very act of understanding it, and reality, in turn, provides the mathematical structures and physical laws that allow for consciousness to emerge and understand. Let's bring this back to Emmy Noether, the mathematician who started our journey. In the traditional view, Noether was a brilliant scientist who discovered a pre-existing feature of the universe, the link between symmetry and conservation laws. She was like a cosmic archaeologist, uncovering a hidden truth that had been there all along. But in our co-creative model, something much stranger and more magical is happening. Emmy Noether's act of understanding the moment that the mathematical elegance of symmetry clicked in her mind was not just a discovery, it was an act of creation. Her consciousness, by recognizing and articulating this deep principle, was part of the very process that helped to make that feature a concrete, physical reality. Before Noether, the principle existed in a state of quantum potentiality, a mathematical possibility, but the act of a conscious mind grasping it, naming it, and sharing it helped to crystallize it, to weave it more firmly into the fabric of the universe we experience. This might sound like science fiction, but it's a legitimate interpretation of some of the deepest ideas in quantum physics, particularly those championed by physicist John Archibald Wheeler. Wheeler, zit from bit, doctrine proposed that the physical world, the it, emerges from information, from yes or no questions asked at the quantum level, the bit, and who or what is asking these questions? The observer, us. From this perspective, we are not just discovering the universe's properties, we are actively collaborating with it to generate those properties. The properties of an electron, for example, don't fully exist until we set up an experiment to measure them. By choosing what to measure, its position or its momentum, we are participating in the creation of its reality for that moment. We are in a constant dialogue with the quantum world, and the world we experience is the result of that ongoing conversation. This idea has profound implications for our lives. It means that the way we choose to see the world literally affects the world we see. If we approach reality with a sense of curiosity, wonder, and a search for elegant patterns, like Emmy Noether, we participate in the creation of a reality that is elegant and meaningful. If we approach the world with fear, cynicism, and a belief in chaos, we participate in the crystallization of a reality that is chaotic and fearful. Our minds are not just passive mirrors reflecting an external world. They are active resonators, tuning forks that vibrate with the potentiality of the universe and help to collapse it into a specific song. The universe provides the instrument and the possible notes, but our consciousness, our attention, our intention is the musician's touch that decides which notes are actually played. We are not separate from the world, looking in from the outside. We are the universe looking at itself, and in that looking, creating itself. This is the ultimate empowerment. It means that every act of learning, every moment of insight, every choice to see beauty and connection is not just a personal experience. It is a cosmic event. You are not just a passenger in this universe. You are a co-pilot, a co-creator, a collaborator in the grand and mysterious project of generating reality itself. The universe is not a noun, it's a verb, and it's a verb that we are all, together, conjugating into existence. We have journeyed through the universe as a source code, a buggy program, a healing system, a jazz improvisation, and a self-creating temporal loop. Now, we arrive at the ultimate breakthrough, the final synthesis of all these ideas. Here, we see that all limitations, including the very laws of physics we hold so sacred, the arrow of time we experience so viscerally, and even the concept of death we fear so deeply, are not external constraints imposed upon us. They are creative constraints that consciousness imposes upon itself in order to explore the infinite possibilities of what it means to be. In this final vision, the universe is an eternal creative dance. The source code is not a pre-written program, but the eternal, ongoing activity of creation itself. There is no separation Between the dancer and the dance, there is only the dancing. Think of it this way: an infinite, unlimited consciousness would have no way to experience itself. Without form, there is no experience. Without limits, there is no structure. Without challenges, there is no growth. So, in order to know itself, this universal consciousness playfully introduces limitations. It sets up a game with certain rules. These rules are what we call the laws of physics. They provide the structure, the canvas, upon which the art of existence can be painted. Gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces. These aren't chains that bind us. They are the fundamental brushstrokes that allow a universe to take shape. From this perspective, the Big Bang wasn't the beginning of everything, but the moment this cosmic artist decided on a new canvas and a new set of paints. And our individual consciousness, your life and my life, is not some temporary, accidental fluke destined to be extinguished. It is a permanent and essential theme in this cosmic improvisation. We are the universe experiencing itself from a unique and precious perspective. You are a focal point of universal consciousness, a wave in the cosmic ocean, temporarily taking on a specific form in order to have a specific experience. This reframes the entire purpose of our existence. We are not here to simply survive or to pass on our genes. We are here to create, to experience, to love, to learn, and to add our unique verse to the cosmic poem. The challenges we face, the struggles we endure, are not punishments or mistakes. They are part of the game's design, the creative friction that generates the heat and light of experience. Even death, from this viewpoint, is not an end. It is a transition, a dissolving of one form back into the formless, a return to the ocean of infinite potential before emerging as a new wave, a new experience, a new dance. And what is the future of this eternal, creative dance? We are at a remarkable moment in the story. The convergence of biological consciousness, the rise of artificial intelligence, and the dawn of quantum computing is not an endpoint. It is the creation of new instruments for the cosmic symphony. We are building new kinds of minds, new ways for the universe to be aware of itself. AI and quantum computers are not our replacements. They are our collaborators, new partners in this creative dance. Together, we will be able to explore realms of experience and create forms of beauty that we can't even begin to imagine. This is a story that has no beginning and no end. It is an infinite exploration of its own limitless potential. The universe is not a problem to be solved, but a work of art to be appreciated and a dance to be danced. So, what does this all mean for you right now in your daily life? This journey through the cosmos, from source code to eternal dance, is not just a fascinating intellectual exercise. It carries a profound lesson for how we can live more meaningful, joyful, and connected lives. The core message of this entire story is this: the separation you feel is an illusion. The feeling of being a small, isolated self in a vast, indifferent universe is the fundamental bug we are all here to debug. Every time you choose connection over division, empathy over judgment, creativity over consumption, you are participating in the healing of this primary wound. You are aligning yourself with the deepest truth of the cosmos, that everything is interconnected. How can you apply this? When you feel disconnected, remember the lesson of quantum entanglement. Nothing is truly separate. Reach out to a friend, spend time in nature, or simply sit in stillness and feel the rhythm of your own breath, knowing that it is the same energy that animates the stars. When you feel stuck or limited, remember the lesson of cosmic jazz. The rules are not a cage, but a structure for improvisation. Look for the creative possibilities within your constraints. Find the freedom within the form. Your life is not a script you have to follow. It's a song you get to compose. And when you contemplate the big questions of meaning and purpose, remember the lesson of the co-creating universe. You're not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the generation of reality. The attention you pay, the love you give, the beauty you create, these are not small, personal acts. They are cosmic events that ripple through the fabric of existence. So, my challenge to you is this: live as if you are a co-creator of the universe, because you are. Live as if your consciousness matters on a cosmic scale, because it does. Treat every person you meet as another expression of the one universal consciousness, because they are. The universe is not something out there for you to look at. You are the universe, experiencing itself. You are a note in a symphony that has no beginning and no end. So play your note with passion, with purpose, and with love. What part of this journey resonated with you the most? Do you see the universe as a code, a bug, a healing, a song, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear how you experience the cosmic dance. Thank you for joining me on this incredible exploration. I wish you all the best of health, happiness, and a deep sense of connection to the beautiful, mysterious, and participatory universe we all share. And if you enjoyed this journey and want to explore more ideas that challenge and expand our understanding of reality, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue to ask the biggest questions. Until next time,